One thing you got to be very careful of as a musician is chasing music and then getting old and having nothing.
Mm.
I know plenty of musicians, and you know their names if I mention them, that are gifted, anointed, and just do things on their instrument like no one else can, but they have nothing.
Mm.
Musicians are not equal on a playing level. That some people can play up here, some people are here. You know the one thing that makes us all equal after the gig is done? We all standing on the same line, trying to get that money, trying to get that check. There's plenty of musicians that could play circles around many, many, many other musicians on different instruments. But what's the one place they all end up at on Sunday morning? Trying to get that check. Church. So we are all equal on some level where everybody's chasing money. But you got to be careful because if God keeps you alive, you're going to get old and things going to change. And there's so many musicians I know, they have nothing. Many are lonely by themselves, no mate, no kids, no family. Every time you see them on social media, they're the king of kings. They walk into a church, everybody's bowing at their feet because they can play good. Life is way bigger than you being able to play good. A lot of musicians, your ego has been swollen and swelled by people for many years. You got to get out of that mode because you walk in the Target now, those people don't know who you are.
Mm.
You ain't as big as and popular as you think you are. I'm telling you, be careful that you don't keep chasing music, and at the end, you have nothing.
That is powerful. And that is something that I advocate for, and really the foundation of why this channel exists. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I have seen the tragic stories, and you have too. You're probably thinking, as he was talking, you're probably thinking about those tragic stories that you heard about this musician, about that musician, and they got sick and they passed away, and then we had to do a GoFundMe, and we had to do a benefit concert or whatever to put them in the ground because they didn't have life insurance. Life insurance, you can get a good policy for like $30 a month. You mean to tell me you couldn't afford a life insurance policy? It's crazy, crazy work. And so we've seen this stuff happen over and over and over again. And so my mission has been to educate musicians and advocate for them to um, to learn how to build a career in music that will sustain. I'm working on a book called Built to Sustain. Details coming on that soon. But yeah, I've been in business, music business, since I was 19. That's 25 years almost that I've been in business. You know what I'm saying? And so I have learned the ebbs and flow. I've tried just about every type of music business that you can think of, from selling instruments to teaching lessons to doing all these things. But I learned throughout all of my failures and some successes how to sustain not just myself, but a family of 8. I have 6 kids, 2 in college. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned how to build a business or build businesses and revenue sources that sustain not just me, but my family. And so what he's saying is the reality that most of us don't want to face when we're young is thinking about when we're old. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about what happens once the music stops, once they're not calling you anymore, once you're not getting the calls for the gigs anymore, once you age out of playing for church. One of the things that drove me into the businesses that I was doing, I sat back and I said to myself, like, yo, how do I retire from being a church musician? How do I retire? Like, what are my benefits? What happens when if I get arthritis at a certain age and I can't play anymore? What happens to the check? You know what I'm saying? What happens when I get older, if I get sick or if I get whatever, you know what I'm saying? I need to be able to afford health insurance. How then the biggest question that drove me is how am I putting all these kids through college on the church check? It just was not when I fast forwarded that mentality where I was at that time, and I said, if nothing changes for the next 20 years, this where I'm at now is not compatible with where I'm going. And as musicians, the thing we do, we tend to think about our life in days instead of thinking of them in decades. You know what I'm saying? And you have to start thinking about what your life is like in the next 10 years. You have to be forward thinking enough to have a goal and say that I'm not gonna die broke, but I am gonna die empty. You know what I'm saying? And you have to determine that because the decisions, the things that you're making right now, the stuff that's that you're doing and you're into now, um, it's not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? And you have to think about your life 15, 20 years from now. The relationships that you're building, the people that you're connecting to, the children you're having, you know what I'm saying? The people you married, it matters who you marry. I've talked about that here on the channel. Um, you have to start thinking about these things. And so I'm a big advocate for it. Take the time and figure out how to take your source as a musician. You are a source. You're as a musician, whether you play drums, keys, bass, guitar, you're a producer, you're an engineer, whatever you do in music, that's your source of income. But figure out how to create multiple streams that flow into multiple sources that you have in music, and then figure out how to leverage all of those things to build wealth. You know what I'm saying? Figure out how to leverage all those things to do that. And I talk about these things all the time on Patreon. I talk about them here on the channel. I talk about them all the time. And I'm hoping that these videos and these things that I'm doing are encouraging you to think deeper about your life, you know what I'm saying, your health, you know what I'm saying, the wealth. The Bible says if a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. You know what I'm saying? So look at your child right now and think to yourself, what am I leaving? The 3-year-old you got right now, the 5-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 18-year-old you got right now. Look at them and say, how am I putting you through college? And then when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, however, 100, however long the Lord allows me to leave here, what am I leaving you? What is the legacy? And it can't be that I just played well. He was such a good musician and he played so well and I love to hear him play. But his children were bastards because he wasn't a father. That's what a bastard is. I'm not cussing. Bastard is a fatherless child. His kids didn't know him. You know, his wife, he was divorced multiple times. Don't let that be your legacy. It doesn't matter how old you are, 20, 30, 35, 40, 50. You still got time to fix things, turn things around. Let this video, let this information, let this be like a reminder that I got to do better. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got. Let me know what you guys think. Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy, John Mike. If you've been rocking with my content and you want to go beyond what YouTube allows, what social media allows, that's exactly why I created my Patreon. Over there, I break down the real side of music tech, business, how this industry actually works, the creative side. I'm talking exclusive podcasts with your favorite creators. And there's 3 ways that you can join. There's a support tier that starts at just $5 a month. That's for people who just want to support my work and get early access to the content that I create. The Creator Plus tier goes deeper into the tools, the workflows, the plugins, everything that I use to create and scale out my content. And then there's the Business Plus tier. This is where we talk strategy, monetization, ownership, all of the things that I do to make money, how I scaled a 7-figure company, how you can do it too, asking questions, all of the crazy things that you want to know about how to build a sustainable, real career in music. So if you're really ready to take this to the next level and grow your creative business this year, then please join me over there at Patreon. The link is down below. I'll talk to you guys over there. Let's get it.